What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 10 of Hardcore Minecraft. In this episode, we're going to see if we can build a villager trading hall before the urge to delete the game from working with the villagers takes over. So I've got a couple questions at the end of the video, how we want to tackle everything, shape the rest of the world, the villagers, etc. So stick around till the end. Leave your answers in the comments, and we'll go whichever way we need to in the next episode. First of all, though, now that we've got enough shulker shells to do whatever we want with, I think we need to make a quick stop to all of our chest monsters and move everything into one area. So we'll just go ahead quickly, grab ourselves, let's say, one shulker box of shulker shells, which is a little over 3,000 built shulkers, and then we'll head out. First off, grab the concrete, go to the tree farm, raid farm, creeper farm, original mob farm, our gold farm, but first we need to say hi to Dodge. Hi Dodge, who's a good boy? Random house that the villagers are on, perimeter for the gold farm, and loads and loads and loads from all around the iron farm. After all that, we've got ourselves 2 double chests and half of a single chest full of shulker shells. So far we've collected roughly, let's say, 200,000 items. So I think we're getting pretty close to needing ourselves our mega storage. If we break down the farms we've done in every episode, we're slowly working towards our storage system. Clearing the land around spawn, golden piglin farms for quartz, wood farm obviously for chests, shulker farm for, well, shulkers, and today a villager trading farm for the redstone. So we're finally getting close to the point where we can start building ourselves our mega storage. But before we jump too far into today's episode, I'm going to quickly organize miner chests a little bit. I won't bore you guys with watching me put it all away, so let me just jump to the end result. So here's what we've got so far. As our world is still fairly new, I don't have everything solidified yet, but here's a little peek. We've started the color coordination. We're going to go with 3 colors per column, I guess you could say. We started naming and organizing the ones that we know we want to be, like iron, pickaxes, shovels, etc., the rockets of course, but we still have lots of room to grow. I'm going to keep a couple spare shulker boxes in here just for now, and as we find a purpose, we'll start coloring them and naming them. Now, if you're new here, this is the time where I ask you to like and subscribe. I blow up 1 piece of TNT for every subscriber we have every episode. So, if you want to make sure you have a piece of TNT dedicated to yourself every episode going forward, hit that subscribe button and be part of this awesome community. And as of recording this episode, our community is up to 313 awesome people. So, after another great dig, we've got ourselves 24 pieces of scrap, which is 6 more ingots. So, we've definitely now got to find any missing pickaxes, shovels, get everything on it. We are getting close. I think we almost need to do ourselves an episode where we just go crazy. Blow up the entire nether, get 2 boxes of pickaxes, a box of shovels, all netherite, maybe a spare set of gear. I don't know why, we play in hardcore. But we need to get everything netherite before we hit 1.20. The trims are cool. I don't want to have to get those little things to do all my pickaxes, get diamonds, waste diamonds, etc. So I think maybe next episode after, somewhere in the very near future. I don't know. What number should we do? 50,000? 50,000? 20,000? I don't know. We need to pick a large number, stupid number. Just blow up the nether. See how much we can get. Alright, so that's enough of that. I say it's about time we start getting stuck into our project for the day. So, let's go over the plan. First, we're going to get a villager. Then we're going to get a second villager. Then we're going to get a lot of villagers. Then we're going to profit. So, now that that's the plan, let's get to it. So, after flying around for a bit, I found a giant hole. It's honestly pretty close to what I was after. It's just about the depth I want. It's a good size frame. I think this is where we're gonna put our villagers, and I think we're gonna put them underground. I don't know, why not, right? Everything is typically above ground in Minecraft, so let's switch it up a bit. I'm thinking we'll do probably a 2x2 chunk area, and we'll just dig it down to the bottom of this pit. And yeah, we'll just start breeding up villagers, putting them in, and yeah, I don't know. There's really not much to it, right? Get villagers, breed villagers, give villagers jobs. So let's get into it. Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. After it, I expanded it a little further just so that we could fit 17 villagers on every side. I didn't like quite how it looked before, so we'll go ahead, space this all out. I'm gonna plan out the look. I don't really know what we're gonna go with yet, so yeah, I'll jump back when we've got a plan. Also, before we jump too far into the building, I figured I should probably bring the villagers over and start breeding them. There was a village luckily not too far from me. I'm going to use the beds and nighttime to just kind of lure them slowly and surely. Once I'm able to actually defend them from all the zombies and creepers around me, they should go right up to where we need them, hassle-free. Now that we've got them nice and close, we'll just boat them down to the bottom where I've set up a simple bed fence thing. A breeder, I guess, is the proper term, and we'll just start breeding them up while we build. Alright, so after a few versions, here's where it's ended up. We've got honey for the villagers to stand on. I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere that it helps to reduce lag. I would love to know if I'm completely wrong in that, though. Then we got some stripped oaks and some stripped spruce logs to give contrasting effects. I personally think it looks pretty good together. And a spruce trapdoor to keep them in place so that we can break and re-break and place their jobs. Did a top trim, which will also be the bottom trim, depending where you're standing, of spruce logs, and some netherite wood for the floor. I'm a little biased, but I think it looks pretty darn good. Oh, and we also did a stripe of the mangrove wood to break up the color a little bit. I've also been breeding the villagers this whole time, and been putting some of them in place as they've been filling up all the beds. All in all, this build is just kind of a template we're going to use copy and paste multiple times until we get all the villagers we desire. So to give you a brief window of the pain I've been suffering, this is how I've been transporting the villagers. I've created a small spot where I cart them out. Get them trapped into a minecart and send them from there. Simply point the track to an open spot and guide them in. Once they're in, I simply push them as far back as I can. I break the minecart, rinse and repeat, again and again and again. So we keep running into problems breeding the villagers. I'm going to go ahead and double the beds on the bottom layer. So we're going to have one set of beds to the left, one set of beds to the right. We'll just keep throwing bread in, getting as many villagers as we can, pushing them into their homes, rinsing, repeating. I'm thinking 5 layers? 5 layers of villagers. So what does that work out to? Roughly 340 villagers? So we're gonna need a lot of them. So let's add a second little breeding area. Well, shortly after doubling all the villagers on the bottom floor, I finally did something smart and decided I need to be breeding the villagers up top. The biggest problem I was facing is that I continuously had to keep breaking and replacing the beds after moving the villagers, as they were still staying linked. I can't even say the villagers were being a pain, I was just doing something kind of a stupid way. So, learning from my mistakes, here we are. So now that we've got them both moved to the top, I'm going to essentially recreate the same designs I was using down below in a larger area with a lot more beds and one villager farmer so I can keep buying bread. I know I could make a villager breeder, but this way I can have 20 villagers breeding at once instead of one pair of villagers breeding. So I think it's faster. I don't know, it's definitely a bit of a pain, but what we're working with. So while we prepare the hole for the villagers, I just figured I'd take a moment to ask you guys if there's anything you guys want to see with this series. I definitely have loads of ideas, but you know, you guys are the ones hopefully enjoying this content. So let me know. Anything specific, anything you'd rather I shift focus to. Current plan is currently preparing for 1.20 and then mega storage. You know, that's probably going to be more than one episode to get that thing going. So we're talking millions upon 10 millions of available storage to be held, so I'm going to go big on that one. But yeah, let me know if there's a few sidetracks you guys would prefer to see first. With all that being said, let's get back to this. Let's build a few more layers real quick. Hope you guys enjoyed that time lapse. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a very difficult video to portray in the way I wanted it to. From both recording to editing, I struggled. I don't know if it's just what I was building, how I was building it, I don't know. It's a tricky thing to make entertaining, building the same structure and moving villagers hundreds of times. So to put the fourth wall back into place, what we're doing here is we're making a hole so that all the bred up villagers can fall right down into the floor that we need. Hopefully we can trick them into falling, and then we can simply throw in a minecart and move them where we want them to go. So after we got all the kinks out of it, and yes, it took quite a few little adjustments to the system, here's what we got. So the villagers fall down to the hole up top due to the trapdoors. We've got a powered rail set up so that the minecart goes in, picks up the villager, and the villagers behind it simply push them back out, giving us a pretty worry-free system that continuously keeps filling up because villagers are dumb. So I can show you what happens when we finish one floor with all the villagers. We simply drop down into the back of it. We're just going to block off this layer, climb up to the next layer, break our way through. We simply need a bucket of water for the villagers to land into. We're going to need our powered rail by the entrance area. And a piece of glass. This is definitely not going to stop the baby villagers from going through it, but it stops the adults at least. So now that all the villagers are in place, we just got to ensure everything is all lit up. For now, I simply removed the middle of the floors as a simple way to move up and down. I'm still debating how I want to travel within this place, but that being said, we'll just stick some trim lights in the corners. That should light up everything between the lights above the villagers' heads and the lights in the middle. There shouldn't be any baddies spawning here. Alright. So that's it for today. Here's my question. Should we add more layers? Do we want one layer per villager? Or do we want to keep it how it's set up today? And no, I'm not giving any of the villagers jobs today because, honestly, the feedback from this episode will determine how we want to set up the villagers. Here's my current thought process. One floor for masons, one floor for clerics, one floor for librarians. We're going to do a weaponsmith, toolsmith, armorer, and farmer on one floor, shepherd and leather worker on another floor, butcher, fisherman, cartographer, and fletcher on the final floor. Because, like I said, let's be honest, we're not going to really use fishermen. We don't need that many cartographers, fletchers, butchers. It's really most of them. And then even the toolsmiths, weaponsmiths, like once we get our gear, we'll be done with them. That's kind of most villagers, excluding a few, like the clerics for the redstone, masons for the unique stones. But let me know either way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the villagers up top until I hear everyone's comments. Do I need the villagers? Probably not. Will I ever have a purpose for 68 fishing villagers? Absolutely not. Will I do it if enough people comment? Absolutely. Well, like I say in every episode, Thanks to each and every one of you for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry it took me so long to get out. Stay safe, everyone. Cheers.